Good morning, beautiful people. It is June the 1st, 2013 at 11:33 in the morning. We are halfway through the year now. And this past week, since the March on Monsanto, we have had some most wonderful energies coming through. And it's been a change, something totally different and very peaceful. As I said in my last video, the big news of the morning of my last video was there wasn't much news. And all throughout this week, in a similar fashion, this has been occurring. And this morning, Monsanto is giving up on Europe as far as their genetically modified organism crops. And yesterday there was a GMO wheat crop out in Oregon. I believe it was in Oregon or Washington State or something like that that had gotten out of hand and starting to spread all over the place, and people are pretty upset. And Monsanto crops are getting burned all over the planet. And anyway, there's many of us who channel higher dimensional messages and the higher energies coming in, who read the field and who speak to other sources in the higher realms, and we are all having the same message coming in right now, that we are at the time of the shift. And how appropriate with this being halfway through 2013 today, and we're turning that corner. There's something we're going to have to do, because you got to remember, Team Dark, who has been the Illuminati and holding the fourth dimensional reigns of power so that we could experience duality. They've been holding the opposite polarities of those of us that hold the light. They are the gods of the material world, while those of us that are called light workers, light warriors, we're the those who hold the energies of the spiritual world. And fourth dimension is working with both. It's realizing that you have a connection with source, and that together we have far more power than the individual by himself. Fifth dimensional is actually shifting that consciousness out of the duality, right, left, brain, male, female, good, bad, light, dark, heaven, hell, and into the heart, into the wholeness, into the oneness, and totally living from that way of being through the spiritual energies that are created and grow from the heart as you move your consciousness. And the messages this morning is, and this is behind the scenes, it's something that several of us are receiving, and it needs to get out to humanity, because Team Dark's not going to come out and say this, but they know that the game is up. They know it's time to surrender. They also know that they've got this whole machine, economic system, war machine, governments, taxation systems, Monsanto, chemical corporations, pharmaceuticals, the whole food industry, the whole planetary electric grid. They've been controlling this whole thing as the masters of the material world, and they know the game is up. They know it's time for ascension now, and they also are fearful. They're fearful that humanity is awakened now, and that they're going to come kill them. Guys, we have to remember that this is only an experiment, and it's been a game we've been playing for many thousands of years now. And it took the lightest of the light, the brightest of the bright, to volunteer to anchor the darkness so that we could experience that extreme in the polarities, so we could experience duality. Earth School, that's what this is all about. They are fearful now that since they've done their mission, that that humanity, as it's waking up, will come string them up, come lynch them, come, cut and quarter them like they have done to so many millions of people globally for how many thousands of years now. And you have to understand, to be able to forgive, to be able to send them light and love, to be able to make this shift, we have to recognize what the Duality Experiment was all about. We have to recognize what Earth School was all about and how it works, and that it took Team Dark to be able to be the masters of the material world so that we could experience the duality. We could not have done it without them. And the game was to take it to the extremes, to, as 3D persons here in Earth School going through our lessons, totally forget who we were and that we were creator gods. And as the vibration of Mother Earth and the vibrations incoming from the cosmos increases, that wakes us up to who we are, and we can no longer play that game, although there's still many billions of people on this planet that are still unawakened to what's going on. Team Dark is waking up. They know that it's got to change, and right now is the time. I mean, literally this very day. and they want to be able to surrender, but there's a big mess that's got to be cleaned up out there. And Monsanto, with its backing off of Europe today, and in a basic surrender, they are kind of leading the way. There's much, much more going on than Monsanto, too. It's just like the tornado outbreak yesterday. If you look at Dutch Sense's newest videos on the scalar waves, where they're using the Nextrad stations and other radio towers to heat up the upper ionosphere where these tornadoes are created and where those tornadoes land. Even the weather is being manipulated, and all of this has to be, well, it's being exposed, and Team Dark now knows we know. And they want to change, but also we have to not want to do to them that which they, as Team Dark, have done to humanity for so long. Does that make sense? We need to really show the power of love that we have within our hearts now. We as light workers, light warriors, as the planetary change agents, as the way showers, those showing humanity, leading the way, doing the expose, telling what it's all about. We've got to switch gears and really send these guys love. And what that does when we do that, it helps to raise their vibration. And as your vibration raises, as your vibration and frequency increases, then you become more and more awake as to what is going on and what the game's all about and what the experiment was all about and why. And those really are the dimensional levels. 3D is not even realizing it's there, and God's on the exterior. 4D, God's on the interior and exterior, and you're just awakening to spirit and realizing that you have to come together with other persons to make focused intent. That's how it works. But 5D, you're in a total creation of your life, on your personal life, and you don't have so much of the dark influences there. And Ron Van Dyke had mentioned me in one of his previous videos the other day, and he said, And I'm not like Bill Ballard, who has gotten over his fear. And it surprised me because I was posting and listening to Ron in the background, and heard my name come up. I was like, wow, that's pretty strange. And anyway, I have to say, what is getting over fear? Fear is learning to trust in your creative abilities, in your higher self, in your embodiment of that which you are, of your higher vibrations. And the more you do that and the more magic happens within your life, the more you can realize that you can walk through hurricanes and be totally unscathed. You can do many things, and it's a totally magical experience, and you won't be harmed. Now, at first you'll have fear, and later on, as this becomes the norm, it's like putting new memory into spring steel, and you start losing that fear, and it becomes a wonderful experience that that you were fully protected within. And that's what living 5D is all about. And as far as my own personal fears, it took me many years, 20, 25 years of going through these experiences to really learn to trust that I was not going to be harmed. Yeah, I can get bruised and cut and scraped and all those things, but I don't lose digits. I still have all my digits. and and yes, you've got to be aware as to what's going on, but more than anything, you have to keep your thoughts and your emotions in check and in control, because that is what creates the illusion that we experience as life. And together, we create the collective illusion that we all experience as the whole. And so now, at 11:44 a.m. on 6/1/2013, now it's time that that we start bringing everybody through that portal that we created on 12/12/12 and 12/21, and that so many of us gatekeepers have been through our personal portals, bringing the energies of that new existence, that new earth, into this earth, so that we could raise the frequencies and help humanity remember who they are and what this is all about. And that those of us gatekeepers, those of us that have been doing this work, the what's going on in the cosmos and the higher frequencies and magnetism that's coming in, all of this is raising the frequencies and of the planet and all of humanity, and it's awakening everybody. And but then that's what the shift of the ages is all about. That, and we're all doing our jobs absolutely perfectly. But now Team Dark is waking up to the game is over, because their frequencies are rising too, and they're scared. And I don't blame them for being scared. If I had done these things to individuals and to humanity and to the collective as a whole, if I'd raped Mother Earth, then I'd be pretty scared too. That's a lot of karma. But karma is magnetics from thought and emotion. And we really want to thank and have so much gratitude for Team Dark for doing the mission that they've done, and help them relieve their karma. Now, granted, they've got to do it themselves, but we can do that along with them by understanding what the duality experiment was all about, and by forgiving them, and by releasing those polarities, by using these electron storms that's coming in a way to shift the magnetics, the karma, that replay of all this stuff into something new. And holding the vision, and holding the divine thought, the divine vision, speaking it forth to invoke in it, and feeling it from the heart to change the magnetics with what has occurred on Earth and with Team Dark, so that we can bring it into something new. They are us. They are a part of us. That is just fragments of ourselves that's played the opposite polarity, so that you've got positive and negative, and they might think of themselves as positive and us as negative. So you've got the opposite sides of the polarity right there, and the experience is the vibrations that occurs between the two sides of polarity. That is how Earth School came to be. That's how it's formed. The original 144,000 that came with Jehovah to terraform Mother Earth and find the physical bodies that we now call ourselves as human, and to reproduce and create more forms so more souls could come in and experience the finality, the ending of the duality experiment in this universe. That's what Earth School has been all about. We got to change it and take it to the next level, which means we have to take the extremes of those polarities, team dark, team light, and bring them into center and realize that and it's not necessarily us losing our light. It's more bringing them into the light, the higher frequencies. And the way to do that is to help release the magnetics and polarities that has gone before. Now, Asia North has another gathering, the gathering across the pond, round 2. The first one happened the 1st of April, and we were doing ceremonies for water healing all over the planet, because this is a planet of water. We are bodies of water. Water is crystalline in its structure. Water is below the surface of the earth, on the surface of the earth, and is in the skies, in the ethers. It is what we breathe. And we were doing ceremony, water healing ceremony in April, and that was to change the crystalline structure and the energetics of the planet. And tomorrow is another gathering on June 2nd. And what I've learned with these is there's no real direction in do this or do that. The key is participating and you channeling that which you feel called to do and working in the ways that you feel called to work the energies, but to be consciously aware of all of us doing our individual parts together as the whole. And so tomorrow is a huge day, and there's going to be many more of these up and coming. One of the things that we can do right now is to balance the magnetics, to be at absolute peace, to fully recognize that the duality experiment is over now, and that we need to bring those polarities back to the center. And we have to do that within the hearts of our individual selves. That's part of mastery right there. But we're also doing this for Mother Earth and for the collective of humanity. And so I invite you all to join in tomorrow with whatever you feel called to do, but to balance the magnetics, to get rid of the karma, to neutralize those feelings and bring it into peace and higher vibrations, and to channel these energies coming in from the new earth, from the higher dimensions. As gatekeepers, that's what we do. And so whatever you're called to do, just do it and join in with all of us. Connect yourself to the grid with all of us, and put whatever you do into the grid for everybody else to experience too. And anyway, we do this all together. We're individual fragments, but we're one as the whole. We are just like a gear, that whole gear. We are individual teeth on that cog of the gear, and we work together as a transmission. And that's how all this works. So anyway, love y'all. Bye for now. Happy June 1st, halfway through 2013.